Hello, I'm Scott. I'm the breathing guy. I'll train you to locate, generate, activate core key energy and physical activity. This video is soft Tai Chi Qigong awareness to bring internal awareness into yourself through physical movement and a developed attitude that produces mindfulness. Mindfulness is an interesting word in itself and what people apply it to. But let's get to the basics here. A review of the way my approach is. There's 4 parts to the breath. We're going to center on breath. Inhale, brings energy in. Pause, consolidates energy. Exhale is the release of energy. And then the pause is emptiness. Learning to be empty is a beautiful state for calmness. Now, those are the 4 parts to breath. There's 3, understanding the torso. There's 3 chambers in the torso: lower core, upper core, middle core, and chest. You breathe from down here, here, here. You exhale from here, here, here. Those are the processes I teach. There's other ways of doing things, but this is basic. Everything I'm teaching is at a basic level that affects your strength and energy flow. Now, here's the first rule of movement in the Tai Chi movements and Qigong movements I do. The hand should move, the hand should move the arms, the feet should move the legs. The core area, this area right through here, is the center for energy and strength. How to activate that and the function of the mind is an attitude that projects that energy from down here and that strength into your feet, hands, and head for purpose, whatever purpose you are coming. This video wants to promote amplification of awareness, being aware of your physical energy flow. Now, a little change, like I'm a trainer, and there's 3 points of view you have to look at. There's an energy point of view, that's dealing with breath, to be. There's a mental point of view, that's your abstract words, basically language, whatever words you have. And then a physical point, what state can you bring in air? It's like a bellows. Bring in energy, your pain, range of motion, fluidity. And the purpose of this video is to make you aware of inside coming fluid, coming softer so range of motion can exist. That's the introduction. So how do we begin our awareness is by taking an inhale and shaping your spine. Shaping your torso, shaping in a way so you can breathe and become calmer and calmer and have the shoulders. You have 2 places to get your strength. From shoulders, tighten shoulders up, and tighten core. A little sidetrack here on the shoulders. People always say, I got tight shoulders. There's 2 reasons you have tight shoulders, I argue. 1, emotional, because you put a whole bunch of energy because of emotional condition. That's a whole area between the jaw and through here. And the other one is that you've been overusing it for physical activity. From washing dishes to sweeping to mowing the yard or just getting up and down out of a chair, use your shoulders and not your hips, not your core. There's 2 sources of force to move your body. There's shoulder force and there's core force. This is the primary, this is secondary. Understanding the relationship between the 2 is part of this whole awareness approach that I give with the soft Tai Chi Qigong approach. So understanding dealing with stress and not using your shoulders to create your breath, to do the movement, is the #1 reason. Because if your shoulders are tight and you come up like this in any way, you can't breathe from down here. It literally limits your strength and your breath involved. The softer you can make this up here, the more this area down here can be dynamic. That's the rule. How do you get rid of stress? Stress is an energy point of view. Part of it is energy and through the exhale. The longer you can exhale, the softer you have to make your shoulders and your body. It's always shoulders first, hips second, and then rest of the body. Those are the 3 stages of releasing, if you want to say coming softer. Shoulders, hips, body. And you do it with the exhale. And then the pause at the end. Inhale always brings in, activates the whole body, and only when you reshape the body for your breath, you get the maximum, if you want, sensation effect. Because even in the being aware of you inhaling, how you're inhaling, I got a whole series on that one, how to inhale. And it depends on your purpose, if you're a singer, runner, whatever. But the exhale, that's the key. 2, on the exhale, there's 2 ways to exhale, out the nose and out the mouth. Each one affects your energy and body relationship differently. When you exhale out of the mouth, you can lower this chamber, torso chamber, this chamber, but not this. When you exhale out the nose, you can engage all the 3 torsos to its maximum level. So that's the foundation for movement. This is bringing awareness, because in Tai Chi or Qigong movement, I want you to become aware of what your body's doing, your breath is doing, the energy flow, and it's the ability to make yourself soft, to make yourself increase your physical sensations connected to the reality around you. The mind is an interesting thing. It can block out everything involved. So coming aware, making your mind and body link together to a higher awareness level, where abstracts have something to, if you want to say, don't live in it, the body is part of it, is the goal here. So first rule involved, I want you to do is put your feet apart, where your shoulders are basically even with the middle of your foot. That's basic right there. Imagine someone's pulling up on your ears like this, so you have to bring your chest and your hips turn forward. So as your hips are involved. So the spine here is tailbone and everything is a little flatter. For women, when you tip your hips side forward, you have a flatter stomach. Now you can move this area. You can test this. Everything's physical. If you have an arch your back and try to move this area down here, the lower chamber. You can do the diaphragm fine, but you can't do down here, below the belly button. But if you tip your hips slightly forward, you move here. Plus you can move. Your range of motion's more better involved. You can see that with gymnasts, female gymnasts. They tip their hips, then they do the tumbling. You do not have an arch. If you play golf, you do not want to have an arch, or do any physical sport, baseball, whatever. You do not want to arch in your back, because it limits range of motion and limits your force. And it'll actually tighten your shoulders up. So having your hips or flat, so it actually makes you stand up straighter, 1, chest expand, involved. So imagine someone pulling up here, and it's just like you slowly bend your knees, and someone pull up here, and you can feel how the spine can separate as you're straighter. And straighten the spine out helps your range of breathing. It's like an interrelationship. The way you shape your spine affects your range of a torso, between the torsos to breathe. And the way you breathe affects how you can shape your spine and keep it that way. So the idea of totally inhaling from the lower core here, and using the whole torso requires the spine to be a certain way if you want range of motion. If you want to really shorten your breath, your inhale and exhale, just have the classic, like this, shoulders forward like this. Try to breathe. You can't use, this is not activated. But if you slowly do this, let your shoulders come back, let your head come up, let your hips tip like that, and breathe, and this area can expand. So how you shape your spine is a reflection of how you're breathing. Understanding that. So there's a real relationship there that's possible that enhances your physical awareness and your health and range in so many areas. So really get the idea of shaping the spine with the breath, and the breath shapes the spine. The spine goes wherever it's pulled. And it's also shaping your torso is an expression. You have to develop an attitude to do this. Otherwise, you won't shape your body to do it. So here, and the goal here is let yourself, imagine 50-50 balance between ball and heel at this stage, and you slowly let your knees go forward. And as you're going forward, they don't go over the toes, they just go straight down. And as you're as your hips go down, your head sort of like stays in position as much as possible. So that way you have to put your head, so you're stretching the spine out by shaping this. And let yourself go. Don't hold yourself up. Don't try to put tension here. You can't fall. It's impossible in this position. So this is the first position. 2, always remember there's 3 points of movement: lower body, upper body, and hands. Qigong Tai Chi is all about feet, hands, and head. And the core, what you're doing with your breath in the core. Those are your 5 points. Anyway, feet, hands and head, core, and your breath. So understanding those parts and how they come together, and well, what you're doing with your lower body affects the upper body. The hands particularly are very important in range of motion and movement, and breathing. It really affects your breathing. How you put, if your hands are closed, open, wrist, having soft wrist is a key element to letting energy flow. If you have tight wrists, you have tight shoulders. That's a rule. So that's how you can gauge. So imagine someone's pulling up here, you shift your hips. Now you're like this, bring your thumb a little here, and now you can breathe. Inhale, push your belly button out and down at a 30-degree angle. Exhale, pull it in, and then down at a 30-degree. Do not push your belly button straight in and out. You'd want it to go down. If it goes down, it activates it. If it goes in and out, it just does there and nothing down here. So when you push your belly button out, then you feel this, and then your chest can go outwards, lats. Exhale. Shoulders come slightly forward, diaphragm goes in, and then the belly button goes in and back at a 30-degree angle, or straight down, whatever works. But you don't go straight in and out with your belly button. You won't activate the hips and area involved. So it's inhale. Do this 20 times and see how long you can exhale, and then pause. So it's inhale, push your belly button out, glutes up, shoulders down, shape down, pause, squeeze here and here. Pull your glutes up just slightly, just touch it. Now soften shoulders. Let's always work on shoulders coming fluid, flow, soft, awareness. Let the mind take time to focus on what is my body like? What am I doing? What's my shape of my body? Am I forward, backwards? What's my feet feeling? Toes, now press the little toe in. The floor, just press it down a little bit. Now inhale more. Hold it. Big toe. Shape. Pause. Exhale. As you're exhaling with the toes, release them. When your belly button gets into neutral, want to pull your belly button in, pull your toes up. Pull the big toe up. And then spread, if you can, spread the toes apart. So we're actually exercising the toes and the foot and the ankle. So when you inhale, you actually is basically bring the toes together like this, and then you press the little toe to big toe as you're inhaling. As you're exhaling, you release the big toe, toes and then pull the toes apart if you can. So it's not just pull the toes up, but also apart. As you're exhaling, pulling your belly button back. When the movement is, when you want the belly button to go back and down, you literally. So you're working the toes, that's the beginning. So this is all lower body action. Next action, after you do this, when you want to inhale, shift your weight forward, so 60% of the weight, 40% on the heel, 60% on the ball. And then press the little toe to big toe, squeeze your toes together a little bit, go up your two torsos, pause, shift your weight back on the heel, 60%, exhale. Release big toe, pull toe, and then spread them apart as you're, see if you can spread your toes apart without using shoulders, no shoulders. You just do it, put enough force where you don't use the shoulders. Be aware of this up here. If it's tightened, if it ever starts tight, pause. Just pause where you're, let your shoulder, then continue what you're doing. That's another stage. So if you really want a beginning, you don't want to use your shoulders for your inhale and everything because it's a habit. Changing a habit requires awareness to do something different and the benefits of doing it this way versus the other way. It is an attitude. You have an attitude of using your shoulders versus your core, your hips, your lower body. Making your shoulders soft in movement and expression of life is an attitude. That is a fact. If you tight shoulders, your attitude is usually very, how can I say, not the most positive. Positive attitude produces softer shoulders than negative, as a general, unless you're trained. So anyway, so this is the first lower for lower body. So it's inhale, shift your weight forward on the ball 60%, feel the heel, be aware, drop your shoulders. Inhale, little toe to big toe, pause, squeeze, shift, rock back a little bit, feel the weight on your hip, drop your shoulders, exhale. Pause, drop shoulders, soften body, exhale more. Pause, squeeze glutes, jaw. Then pause. Shift your weight, inhale. Now if you want to come up a little bit on your knees, a little bit, fine. Now you're having up and down that movement. Pause, squeeze, soft shoulders, shift back. Exhale's the release of the tension in the shoulders. Exhale. Drop, let your knees go forward, drop. Pause, shoulders, shape your spine, whatever. Be aware. Exhale. Pause, then exhale one more time. That's another process. Instead of just exhale constant, go a quarter and then soften shoulders. Then go a little bit more, soften your body. This is a faster way than if you just go inhale and exhale. Even on the inhale, if you inhale, pause halfway or a quarter way. Shape your body so you can get a bigger inhale. A little bit more, push your belly out a little bit more. Pause, shape your body, tip the hips, whatever. Then inhale. So you can do 2 pauses to give your mind awareness of what everything is working. What are you using to make the movement is the key element here. That's for lower body. Upper body, remember I said hands move the arms. This is basic, this is simple. And you do this as a practice, and it's all about internal. This movement I'm going to do is show you is just like a quarter of the whole prayer, and the rest of it's inside, attitude, development, mindfulness, attitude development. While you're doing this is what you're doing. You're coming aware to create mindfulness, awareness, attitude. So what I want you to do here, when you rock forward, as you're inhaling, you're pulling up on your fingers, your middle finger and your thumb, to bring energy to your nose. As you're turning slowly, let your shoulders drop, reshape, that's your pause. You can shape whatever you want. Then exhale. Think of the fingertips holding your hands up so you go down flat. See how my wrists are bending? So all the tension, your awareness is in this area of the finger. And then this joint up to finger. So these fingers are pulling your hands up. If you don't do this, if you have your arms do it, your shoulders will tighten up. You can always tell someone that's doing it with their shoulders because this is what it looks like. See how my shoulders come up? My arms are out. When you do it with the hands, look at the shoulders stay down, and the hands and the arms are natural. Learning to be natural in the relationship to the movement of the hands. And you're breathing through the nose. Now, in the beginning, I would suggest this. You inhale through the nose, pause, and now exhale out the mouth like you're smoking a cigarette. Go. Pause, soft shoulders. Soften your hips, You cannot fall. You'll feel the tension. Your legs will start shaking in time. You don't hold yourself here. You just let it loose. Fluid here. Let it be fluid. Inhale. Pause. Shake yourself. Shape your release. Inhale more. Pause. As you pause, turn your hands. Feel. And now you're going to push down with your ring finger and little finger, pulling your hand back. Think of the little finger and ring finger, pulling it back. When you get all your hands all the way down, pull it back, then release. Turn it back. That's an exhale. That almost expands the chest out so you can exhale more. So back to, shift your weight forward, press toes, As you're inhaling, pause, soften your spread. Imagine hollowing out your armpit so that your arms are like trying to be pushed out that way. And your elbows are just heavy. And you're just bringing it up with your fingertips. You're bringing up using these fingers. That works the bicep. These work the tricep. This is finger ergonomics. I go into that very detail, especially in golf. As you're turning, let the feeling of the muscles turning and you're engaging the little finger and ring finger to push down. Pull them back. The rest of the fingers are soft. Make the other part as soft. And they come closer together. Let the thumb come closer back in as you're exhaling. So you're moving the thumb. When you're coming up, let the thumb spread out and these fingers here and the other ring finger is soft. Pause as you're turning. Turn. Feel the little finger tip. Make the other one, be aware of making the other one. You're directing the sensation. Exhale. Shift your weight to the heel. If you want to use the mouth, do out the mouth 10, 25 times, then go to the nose. Nose will give you prep, but soften the shoulders, soften the upper chest and stuff. Exhale out the mouth like you're smoking a cigarette. So you bring your lips together, go. You watch anyone take that first cigarette. I don't know, it's my harder in the old days. So a lot, like they start, they go, pause, the whole body. Shoulders relax, then the body can relax. If the shoulders don't relax, come softer, the body can't come softer. That's the rule. And by bringing your lips together, reshapes the jaw. That's what you're looking for, reshape the jaw. It's almost like pushing it forward and softening so you can do it and putting your tongue, using your tongue. So the tongue comes towards the roof of the mouth and you're passing air around the tongue, the tip of the tongue. So the jaw, tongue position, and exhaling with the movement. Inhale through the nose, as I come down here, pause, turn, and then for exhale out the mouth, bring your lips a little together so you shape the jaw and your tongue. Pause, shape, relax, tighten a little bit. The softer you make your body, the longer the exhale. You just heard it. I reach the point, I make my body soft, I can exhale longer. It's relief because the body generates its own energy, and if you can soften it and release that as well, then everything becomes fluid and you can bring in more, both body energy and outside energy during the breath. Inhale. Exhale is the same thing. The more you can release, the more you can bring in after. The pauses are really important. Understanding the value of the pauses, I cannot overstate, because that's when your awareness comes the most. You can amplify it, being empty and being full of how you want to shape, develop your attitude. It shapes an attitude through the be mindful, to be mindfulness, and developing attitude during that state. So the first one is just very simple. Drop, shape your hips a little bit, and then you drop down slowly as you inhale, push yourself, exhale, and drop down. You're 50-50 balance, your feet are apart, then bring your hands forward. Inhale. And as you turn, soften shoulders, let the elbows drop more, soften shoulders, soften, be aware, shape your torso, spine. Exhale. Pull up in your little finger, ring finger, like you're pushing a pole down, and then let it go back a little bit. And you're on your heels. 60-40. Then turn your hands around, shift your weight during the pause. You're bringing energy up and using the middle finger, thumb, up, and you just let your wrists come softer. See how my flats are flat? I'm like picking up water, picking up something and going right to my nose. And look at my shoulders. The more you shape your foot, the more you can do it. It's not out like this. Pause, exhale. Play with your tongue, going, make a. Pause, squeeze, shake. Soft. Mind awareness. Every time I stop, I didn't inhale. I just reshape my body, release some tension, and then as I exhaling it releases the energy. Breath and energy stored in your body are linked together. The longer you can exhale, if you can exhale for 20 seconds, you're much calmer. You're releasing energy. A 20-second exhale, it sounds like a lot, it isn't on there. But a 20-second exhale on this, if you do it in 10 seconds, it's good. On the inhale, you can either do it two ways. You can do it fast, so you push everything up, but I would recommend medium speed or slow, so your awareness can enhance, so you can do it faster later on. But this is basic. It's basically developing awareness, so you can develop a mindfulness, so you can create an attitude of mindfulness in the movement itself, and that's aware of your body. And moving the hands, you're feeling your fingertips lift up. You're coming softer, more fluid, more dynamic. And as you turn the hand, you're pushing downward, pulling the little finger or ring finger back. So your palm is pulling back and down, and then release at the bottom and expand back. Then turn your hand out, inhale. Exhale. Soften, soften. This practice, 50 times, 100 times, slow, is only for awareness. Shift your weight back and forth. It's engaging the whole body. You're toning muscles, and you're getting softer shoulders, more awareness, engage, of course, torso. Any questions I'd love to answer for clarification to amplify just a simple movement. It's what you're doing inside with your breath and where you're drawing your force from the ground up, not from the shoulders down. Because you always, especially at the beginning, you always start with shoulders down because you're thinking. Once you replace thinking with awareness, feelings of your body, that's the transformation. Remember, the mind either thinks or feels. The more you think, the less you feel. The more you feel your awareness of your body, the less you have abstract thoughts. Abstract thoughts burn up energy. So otherwise you're bringing awareness to your body, it consumes energy because it's a feedback process to the mind. Coming soft and fluid is the name of the game, especially when you get older if you want range of motion. Range of motion, and you've got to have the core. The more you can move this area here, the more toned it is, the more possibility of movement in your life, the more stronger you can be engaged to your feet, hands, and head. And the sensation of power, I cannot emphasize, is a whole nother realm. It's so pleasant. Having a pleasant state is a creative state of awareness to mindfulness. So you got awareness, mindful, and mindfulness. The ness is implying it in a physical activity. Being aware, you can just sit in a chair and breathe and become aware of things. But mindfulness is doing something with the awareness of mind, of your body, physical state, with the breath, with the energy. You always got mind, body, and breath. If you want a mental attitude understanding, you go mind, body, and breath is last. If you want a physical understanding of the body, it's body, breath, and mind. And if you want a total energy, it's breath, body, and mind. If you imagine the breath as energy, and you have the body on one side and the mind on the other, because without your breath and energy, it feeds both. You get rid of breath, that's it. The mind and body, there's nothing there. There's no energy to make it alive. You're born in an inhale and you exit life with an exhale. An exhale is the release of energy. You bring in energy to start your life and you release energy to end your life. That's one view of how you're understanding the mind, attitude, three points of view. A mind point of view, a physical point of view, and an energy point of view, which is core breathing. How they come together in relationship to purpose. That's all I'm saying. I don't say one's better than the other, but you need all three are engaged in anything you do. I don't care if you're doing a math problem. I don't care if you're doing a baseball swing involved. These are all three things that are part of the game of life. How you spend your time developing awareness, especially when you get my age, so you can have range of motion, be soft. Because otherwise you get very stiff and very tired and very tense. And becoming aware of your body, becoming more mindful is a whole nother realm of understanding and realization to enjoy your very existence of life. It's spirit. Breath and spirit are synonymous. How do you develop your breath? There's several ways. That's a whole nother discussion, and how to develop those things involved. But breath and spirit are synonymous. They're together. That's one way to look at it. Anyway, this is Scott Bartley, breathing trainer. And this is a soft Tai Chi Qigong basic exercise to develop awareness, to have mindful and create mindfulness attitude.